My name is Father Benedict Taylor. I am a Franciscan friar. Friar means brother, and I'm an ordained brother, a priest. I was ordained in 1960 in Washington, D.C.
My name is Ralph Perez. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Create Incorporated. I have a doctorate in humane letters. I also have a master's in city and regional planning, and I'm also an affiliate of the Franciscan Order.
Since 1961, I was assigned to the Church of St. Francis of Assisi. While I was stationed at St. Francis, I had many different duties as a young priest. But one that took most of my time was that of taking care of the communications at St. Francis.
Well, I met Father Ben when I was a young teenager in high school, and I started working down at St. Francis of Assisi's Church on 31st Street, New York City.
I was lucky that the church hired Ralph Perez, who was at that time beginning high school, and he was asked to help me in carrying out this particular job, sort of a bookstore for St. Francis Church. In 1968, the Franciscans decided to move some of the friars up to Harlem in order to help the poor and to find out what their needs were. The Franciscans teach that the best way to do this is to discover what the needs of the poor are, find out by being with them and trying to work with them, not just for them, but with them in order to overcome some of these very deep problems.
During the 60s and the 70s, there was a heroin epidemic in Harlem and actually throughout New York City. But particularly Harlem was considered one of the drug capitals of New York City.
And at that time, Ralph Perez kept in touch as he went to college, Bard College in Westchester. He kept in touch with us friars and helped us during his breaks and other times in which he was able to spare time to assist us.
And many of my colleagues and friends have passed away, had succumbed to heroin addiction. And I thought that while I was in college and when I graduated from my undergrad, I wanted to do something about it.
So the beginning of Create was putting together a proposal in 1972 to start a program, because at that time the Friars had a storefront on the corner where we lived, and also there was a house around the corner which was abandoned, and we decided to present a proposal with the help of Catholic Charities to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, and we were funded in 1973 in order to start a community-based program, which we call Create. We decided that by doing so, that would help the whole environment, which was very much a drug, for lack of a better word, infested by drug abuse, joblessness, hopelessness. And so one of the reasons why we called it create was that this word create can be broken down to a chance to re-evolve a total environment. And the idea was, of course, by helping the people, we were helping the total system or environment or community in which we served. By the way, before I went to Harlem, I met Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And one of the things that he said after I apologized for not taking part in his demonstrations and other marches and the like, he mentioned to me that the marches and demonstrations are only temporary, but what we need is people that will build up the community after they are all over.
When we started our Create House, which was our first small shelter, it was only 19 beds. Our mission then was not just to provide just a bed, a hot and a cot as we used to call it, but also provide support services, particularly wraparound services that focuses in on the betterment of the person, either them getting a GED or get some kind of skills training development so that they could move forward once they go out into independent living.
It happened to be that this idea of a community-based shelter was accepted by the city as an alternative to the large warehouse shelters. And then from that, we grew into what is called Create Young Adult Center, which is for young adult men age 18 and above, unique for those services, where we could concentrate on this very difficult population. Particularly its job training and the chance to look for a job, to have a nice resume and to present themselves to employers and people who might give them a place, a house. And we did that through Create Young Adult Center. Well, the storefront was sort of a street-level outpatient program, and we try to provide as many services as possible in limited space. Once we received the resources, the outpatient program expanded to a multi-service, medically supervised outpatient. That is, became a clinical program which used a medical model that would treat the whole person, not just his chemical dependency.
Our residential programs include the residential intensive drug treatment, which houses 48 beds. That provides not just intensive residential treatment, but also support services, which includes various wraparound services, case management, counseling, and also vocational counseling as well.
The food pantry started because of the outpatient center, which was a very large facility that we used to feed our clients, give them a breakfast and a wholesome lunch. And the seniors of the neighborhood were very aware of that. At times we would open the doors to them, and such as at Thanksgiving and Christmas and other holidays. But we found out that they needed help every day. And so as a result of that, we decided to open up a little program for them, a senior citizen program, in which they could find not only a meal, but also time in which to spend while their children are in school or grandchildren, and be able to meet with other seniors of their age.
Permanent supportive housing was one of our last developments that we did. It's a permanent supportive housing for young individuals and their families. It's rental subsidy for them, and we also provide support services on our program next door, which is our medically supervised outpatient.
The main thing that it provides is hope, a life they can transition to in order to find independent living.
The second thing is to believe in the inner goodness of the individual and support them to make sure that we're there with them in their journey through recovery.
People with drug problems and joblessness, they have certain qualities that could be brought to life if they had the hope to do so. And so we started right there with them at that.
Now that we've did a merge with another similar agency that has the synergy that we have providing the same services, we hope that they would continue on the mission and the vision of CREATE in providing services to the community.
In other words, when we look back at it a year from now, we hope to see that CREATE is still providing services within the community, and that the community is still coming to CREATE and receiving the help that it deserves.
Personally, I feel gratification in the fact that we've helped thousands of people through the years, but just the satisfaction that we've helped someone that was hurting or was on the brink of collapse and bringing them back up to a productive citizen in our great city.
Well, I hope that the community will always see that this program had a dedicated beginning, and that people began the program with the idea of that everyone is important, every member of the family is important, and every aspiration that they have to be a better person is being honored by those who are now caring for them, just as we cared for them.